Good day, the fair adventurers. Oh, that's terrible. Welcome to Richard and Carl Play Daggerheart. I am Richard, somehow in charge of this.
And I am Carl, somehow subservient to this maniacal master.
So I believe. But really, it's like when you, see in a movie trope where you grab someone and they just go limp, and then, trying to drag them along is actually far more effort. I'm trying to think of a good example of the trope of kidnapping someone that's just simply more effort than they're worth and does. It's like in Dragon Ball Z Abridged when they're like, "You took Gohan's kid? Why? Goku's kid? How? How did you take Goku's kid? Why? Why did you take Goku's kid?" So that's kind of our dynamic. You have Carl to go along. Why did you capture Carl? How did you capture Carl? So that's the way I see it. So, what is new in the Carlverse? Note, we are a fun role-playing podcast, and if you want to use us as academic sources, know that is a choice you are making consciously.
Well, I mean, this week has been relatively boring.
That would be amazing if you just ended there, your recap, the subversion would have been pretty good.
So, Stephen King is my fiance, one of my fiance's favorite authors. So,
Unrelated
nine.
pause. So,
Hmm?
we have classmates who do a reading of their choice at the start of each class as one of our class things. So, I very recently listened to someone read the first 5 minutes of The Shining. Not related.
The Shining.
But also related. Probably more related than normally when I say not related.
We do have a copy of The Shining. We haven't read it yet. Just as this is kind of ancillary to what I'm actually going to talk about. But
I'm going
The
to pause
Shining.
you for a disclaimer. Do you have any idea how profoundly unwise it is to tell a GM, preload the GM to have a bunch of imagery and thoughts about The Shining before he runs you a session? You're like, hey, I watched this movie. It's like, ever think about how horrifying Stephen King is? You say while I'm making my session notes.
Well, people say that The Shining is like one of the best horror movies ever made, and it definitely it's very creepy and
Feel the need to put an addenda before you go into where I think you're going. So, best is an interesting thing. I know when I complain at the Game Awards a lot that there's different categories of how you try and judge artwork. And for The Shining, a lot of its best comes from its choice of cinematography, its acting choices, its score, its set design. So I just want to put that out there that, you can be the best horror movie of all time while being bad at being a horror movie if every other aspect is beautifully polished and great. Which is why I get angry when people are like, why is Bellatrix not Game of the Year? I'm like, because it doesn't get points for any category other than the gameplay loop. I'm not saying Bellatrix is bad. I'm saying it doesn't have these check boxes for me to fill in to give it a rubric. Like if I give an assignment for someone to write me an essay on, let's say Stephen King. And I'm like, okay, you need to write it MLA style, 5 pages, and pull in 4 quotes from The Shining. And they write this beautiful piece about repressed alcoholism. If they don't put in the 5 quotes, they don't get the points. Hypothetically, this would never happen to a real student's paper.
Anyways, I've watched the movie, and I will say, as you pointed out, it has a very creepy score, a good cinematography, very almost too authentic acting as the stories go.
Yeah, it turns out if you want someone to act traumatized, the secret is to actually traumatize them. Disclaimer, I do not support doing this. Method acting is bullshit.
But, having not read the book, the movie feels like there's a lot of pointless plot lines. Like the writing of the movie makes me wonder if the book is actually good, or how much was left out of the book.
reasonable concern.
Well, like I just really just didn't like the writing of the movie, and the movie is old, and so I found the movie to be actually kind of boring. Even
So
like
I've last
yeah.
time I went through The Shining, like I said, my issue is like it has lots of pretty framage, but like
Mm,
you've heard me rant about narrative symmetry, starting with the ordinary world, inverted world, symmetrical world. Imagine
mm.
my deep hatred of how the titular Shining had nothing to do with the movie. Like, so if you have a kid with psychic powers, but
Mm.
the dad sees the ghosts and the psychic powers don't tie into the ending, then it would.
Right. So I really wonder about the book because the writing of the movie, despite all of the other wonderful aspects of it, just isn't up to snuff. But that's not actually what I actually want to talk about. Is Stephen King's book It, which is about Pennywise the clown that like feeds. It's a alien monster that
I
feeds on
thought that
people's
book was
fear.
about sewer orgies.
Well, see, that's another book that I haven't read, and the movie thankfully leaves out the sewer orgy part,
So
which is
unhygienic.
apparent.
Like, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum, but like, hygiene, folks.
But the more recent adaptations, I can't remember what year they were released, but they were released in like 20. It must have been released, at least released in 2016. Anyways, uh, the director of those movies, which were very well received because they're much higher quality than the one from like the 80s with Tim Curry. Um, and then also they were divided into two movies and slightly longer, and so they could include more content, but still exclude the inappropriate content from the book.
Fair.
Um, uh, they were very well received, and the director of those movies, or maybe the producer, but someone involved with those movies, has decided to make a prequel series that shows the
Boo!
birth of Pennywise the
Boo!
Clown.
No! Unsubscribe. Boo!
Well, I mean, I know what your feelings are about prequel series because, like,
Name me
in
two good prequels. Not good for being prequels. Good prequels. Two, and I'll let this go.
I am bad at being put on the spot. I'll have to get back to you on that, and unfortunately, maybe I'll get back to you on our next episode or something. But
Oh, that's so
I'll
funny to
try and think
answer the
about it.
question on a different podcast. Like, I hope we actually remember to do that, because that's actually a really good bit. Like, not as a plug, we just do that.
Anyways, the show Welcome to Derry. It only has 2 episodes. The next one comes out on Sunday. But we we have been enjoying it. Um, you know how in Batman Assault on Arkham, they give a full flashback for every single member of the Suicide Squad. So when one of them has their head blown off by Amanda Waller, then it's actually a complete surprise because you didn't know which character was actually important.
That would only work if they weren't so trigger happy, because, like, original live-action Suicide Squad just simply wasted the bit, where, you know what movie actually did a good job of that bit? Was actually Deadpool 2, where he built his Strike Force X, interviewed them all, and then had them all die while landing. And you're like, yeah, we got these high-profile actors, and then we killed them in a blaze of glory after setting it up. Where, like, the suicide thing is obviously someone's head's going to get blown up to prove the point. But it would be better if they were patient with it.
Right. But the point I'm trying to make is that the first episode of this Welcome to Derry show spends a lot of time building up characters. And I thought that they were going to be main characters. And no, they got horribly murdered by the end of the episode. Which then sets up future episodes, and it was like, man, like so few movies and shows just have the guts to go for that kind of setup and payoff, where you introduce a character that it seems like they're going to actually be like they are important to the story because their death matters, but they're actual role in the story is basically to die despite all the setup.
Well, it's
And
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't work. Like in Stephen King's The Tommyknockers, I really hated the chapter about the guy that is flying the plane and gets too close to the spaceship and his brain explodes. But when it's done well, and well, I felt like Welcome to Derry did do this quite well. A spoiler alert: characters that you think they're going to be main characters are just unceremoniously slaughtered.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's like, how can I put this? Stephen King has put out a lot of media, and through the method of putting out a lot of media, much like myself, eventually you'll make something good. That's just like a lot of
Right.
averages. But like you read something like that, and then you read something like the short story that Arrival was based on, and you're like, oh wow, there's just Stephen King is the Taco Bell of horror.
Go on.
No, I think I nailed it.
But so, like I said, my week has been relatively boring, and watching Welcome to Derry was probably the most exciting thing that happened to me this week. So, what's new with you there, Richard?
Well, other than a pending Stephen King lawsuit. So, I'm deep in the grad school process, and yesterday it's probably been the day that's had the most calendar alerts I've had in my life. So I'm just going to paint a day in my life so you can kind of take a snapshot, and it should cover what's new with me in general.
Okay.
Alright, so I wake up 5 a.m. I listen to several academic articles I'm supposed to read on 2x speed while drinking coffee and having a shower.
Makes sense.
I head out the door to begin my commute, and I start listening to the next academic article and pestering my colleagues on Discord like you do.
Okay, just one moment. I just thought something that I think is kind of funny. Watching and listening to videos at 2x speed or higher, apparently unless you really practice, it's not really practical to listen to more than 4x speed. But it's become so popular that watching at anything more than 2x speed on YouTube is actually a premium feature you have to pay for. Anyways, carry on.
So I'm listening to my article about the girl guides being systemically racist, like you do. I'm listening to my other article about Canadian euthanasia laws, because yes, this is what I need to be absorbing at 6:30 in the morning. I make it to the big Union Station, which now it's finished all the renovations. It's like also a shopping mall and food court. It's actually kind of really nice.
All right.
After fighting the intrusive thoughts to push people in front of oncoming trains, I make it through. Now, at this point, I'm 4 articles in, and I've learned that supervised playgrounds were a thing where adults were paid to try and military train kids on playgrounds. I've learned that, shockingly, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Guides are military structured and rooted in British imperialism. Who would have guessed it? And I've learned that, yay, I get to have a conversation about eugenics, genes detection, and euthanasia today. That's going to be fun. So I get to class, and then I'm like, okay, we have our talks about the Girl Guides. People brought in a bunch of cookies. I didn't expect this about grad school. The amount of food we've just been given because it's on topic, has been impressive. Like, I didn't start the trend with baking gingerbread. It was literally like, prof brings in candy because it's on theme, and then I'm like, I can do this, and then it's like, I gave positive reinforcement, so of course on Girl Scouts Week and Girl Guides Week there was cookies. So then I have to invigilate an exam, which, to those unfamiliar, means, well, for a normal person, it's make sure no one's cheating, hand out booklets, right? For me, it's zoning out so completely that I'm trying to walk through the desks in the Pac-Man maze to see if I can remember from memory what the Pac-Man maze is structured like. And deeply fighting the intrusive thought to Naruto run up and down the halls to see if anyone notices while they're focused on the exam. Like, at one point I go for a water break while my colleague is watching the room, go around to the side door and, do a cat paw thing at the window, just to mess with them.
Did any students notice?
I don't think so. And I definitely did, a couple Naruto hand signs at the front, just for no reason. So, I invigilate this exam, which, to be fair, is important, decently paying, valid part of my job. So
Mm-hmm.
I have like 60 exams in my backpack. We then have a flash lecture on PhDs where they explain basically, yo, English PhDs don't lead to English professor jobs because democracy's crumbling, fascism's winning, and humanity's being cut. I'm like, I know that. They're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, why do you want a PhD? I'm like, you said you'd pay me food and shelter to be student. Yeah, that's why I want one. It's not a glamorous life. I'm like, I worked in the kitchen.
Right, right.
It's like, so what do you want to do after you get your PhD? No, no, that's not part of the plan. What do you mean, what do I want to do after? No, no, the scheme is you guys pay me to attend classes and TA and teach, and then I use that to write my school assignments to pay my bills so no, I can continue to write my fun stuff. It's a perfect scheme if you don't care about sustainable life and have low enough standard of living. Where I'm like, oh yeah,
Right,
grad
right.
school, I'm probably the wealthiest I've ever been, and I'm on grad school money with a book contract and writing some academic articles from time to time. I'm doing great by my standards, which means I'm still far below the poverty line, but I can see it now, right? Like my income
Right,
now
right.
actually like matches my expenses. Like the other day, I thought to myself, you know what? I can have Disney Plus for the next month, and then got a free trial. Click
Ooh,
cancel immediately, so that way when the free trial goes, it
spicy.
doesn't auto bill me.
Right, right.
So after that flash lecture on a doctorate where they're basically like, do you really want to do this to yourself? It drives people mad. Could you imagine writing an entire book over 5 years? I'm like, over 5 years? Yeah, I think I'll be fine.
Right.
Could you imagine? Oh man, I wrote two this year.
Mm-hmm.
But so then after that, we have guest speakers come in who are doing a poetry reading slash cello recital.
Okay.
And this person, well, I think it was like a classical bass cello. I'm not really up to date on cellos. Chat will come at me for this. That's fine. But like, it was
Mm-hmm.
this performing piece, but he was using every part of the cello.
Ah.
So like at one point he's like running the to like make it sound like crackling a campfire. He's like hitting the bow on the outside wooden side of it while like flicking it with his thumb while someone's like fire, crackles, dissonance. And I'm like, you know, I really thought this talk was going to be less engaging because the last talk, though interesting, was a talk because it was like the
Mm.
guest distinguished speaker series. I'm like, all right, let's see what these distinguished speakers are about. It's like crackle, crackle, thunder, society, language. And I'm like, this is enrapturing. I am very distracted. My ADHD is
Mm-mm.
appreciating that whenever I start to zone out, you change how you're using your musical instrument completely, and now you're just punching the strings. What is happening? So then after that, it
Okay.
was a member of our cohort's birthday, so we had to go. Well, I didn't have to go to karaoke, but I went to karaoke.
Mm.
Because it's me at karaoke, thankfully there was 4 microphones, which meant that I was never going to be the only person singing a song, so I could participate without the restraining order coming back on for unlawful use of voice.
Right, right.
Like my singing so bad it probably gives me Kurt's speech powers. So
Okay.
after consuming enough alcohol to make karaoke work, after
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that we go to a pub because this like local student facing pub was going to shut down next week. And at one point I have a
Oh.
realization. So there's 10 TAs slash various people at this pub, right?
Mm-hmm.
And multiple sections were running the same exam. And I'm like, you know what's really funny? Over 200 students' exams are in this room right now as we're like singing karaoke because we don't have like a locker or anything. So I'm like, an entire cohort could end up losing all their exams if someone too aggressively swipes over a jar of knocks over a bottle in karaoke at 10 p.m. Which is just
Pretty wild.
one of my classmates, like good friend of mine, like basically collapsed laughing at the concept that you think about people with your tests and your security, your academic purity, and then all of them are just in a room as we're singing Highway to Hell. Like, it was just such a good dissonance. So I get home about 1 in the morning, and then I've had a day full of meetings today, and now I'm here now. Pretty heavily caffeinated.
Mm.
So that's what a day in
So
my life looks like.
you never did touch on. Maybe I accidentally interrupted you when you were going to, but you never did touch on the fidget spinners and or Adventure Time playlist.
Okay, so A friend of mine has a 3D printer.
Mm.
3D printers are awesome. Around a holiday last year, I want to say Christmas, but I don't even remember because time has lost all meaning. They gave me some
Mm-hmm.
like cool like interlocking gear 3D printed fidget spinners. And then
Okay.
my brother broke his fidget spinner. It was so sad. So I messaged my
Mm.
friend being like, "Can I have a new fidget spinner?" And we started talking about like what we should do for our next hangout session. And I'm like,
Mm.
I'm feeling weirdly nostalgic for when I used to live with Carl. Make a curated Adventure Time playlist because I've never finished that show and you say I should catch up on it. And we should order pizza, put
Huh.
Bailey's in chocolate milk, and catch up on Adventure Time for a weekend because I'm feeling nostalgic for my early 20s.
Mm.
And I assumed you would approve this message because that's literally what we did.
That's true. We did watch a fair bit of Adventure Time before I gave up on the show because I feel it overstayed its welcome.
Right, but now
Although
that it's
that happens with a
complete,
lot of
like,
shows, but
giving someone the idea of, okay, you want me to finish the show, assemble all the key episodes, and intoxicate me.
yeah, that's true because there definitely was a lot of episodes that really did nothing for the show.
So, and it's less about the show and more about the socializing. Like, it's not a show I would binge in silence and take notes to
Mm.
look at the artistic merit. That's left for highbrow and lowbrow anime. Oh man, though, like, for some of the, like, source text people write papers on, I'm like, man, I could really write a paper on whatever I want. Like, I'm working on Ghost in the Shell right now, but I'm like, man, I could have been so bold. I could have just walked in here and been like, why Full Metal Panic is the most authentic deconstruction of the military-industrial complex in the 2000s. I could have like been like, why Ryder Loot is a metaphor for the AIDS epidemic or something.
That you could have.
I mean, they literally give him a stigma and have like a full thing where he's like, you need to die alone because people born with your DNA are monsters, and then actually turns into a monster that kills people. Like, it's a whole thing.
Did they ever actually finish that anime?
Kind of. So the anime was basically a light novel commercial.
Mm.
So the anime covered the first 3 light novels, and then they had a sequel series of light novels that had a different title. The light novels finished up last year.
Okay.
So the series only covered the first 2 out of like 24 novels.
Okay.
But they're never going to complete it because it was really designed to sell the future volumes. Plus, not enough people liked it for oddly justifiable reasons. Like, there's definitely a lot of awesome things I enjoyed in it, but also they started on a really weak episode for some reason. Like, episode 2 is just a substantially better way to start the show because episode 1 like comes off as like a gag series, and then it like goes super serious. It's a whole thing. We could do an entire episode of Deep Space and Dragons, our other podcast where we deep dive into literature and apparently are valid academic sources. Not really, don't cite us. But shall we get into some daggering and some hearting?
Yeah, sure.
So a few little
You
Daggerheart
can
updates,
actually-
just because we play the game, might as well sponsor it a bit. First, they don't pay us. We are not sponsored by Critical Role, because I would be insufferable about it. 2,
Okay.
they do like to put out free playtest content in their Void category, like they put out the Blood Hunter for Halloween.
Okay.
And Hero Forges recently did a partnership with Daggerheart to be like, we have Daggerheart exclusive packs coming out. But they're going to charge separately for those packs, and fans got mad, like, you can just have them for free. I'm like, wow, good job, Hero Forge, I like you. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that game. Is it's out. They had a Kickstarter for like little class packs so your players could buy their own cards if they didn't want to share. It's interesting to me because my players, I don't have a problem GMing if they share cards, like if there's multiple people with the same powers. But a strong argument could be made that by only having 1 or 2 copies of each card, you force your players to play differently. And I think that's good to make it that your players can't have the same spell.
Right.
So, it doesn't matter to you because it's not, ooh, are we playing with Nuzlocke rules? I think we're playing with Nuzlocke rules now. Anytime I kill you, you cannot use any cards that were on the character that were killed.
Oh, no.
Alright, so with that, let's get into some daggering art. I really thought I had more like industry news I was going to go with, but it turns out no. So, to give a recap of the story thus far, and hop in anytime you think I'm wrong or want to add in flashback deals to just change the story retroactively. It's a collaborative
Mm-mm.
storytelling. You can just correct me when I say something happened, and that becomes new
Right.
canon. But remember, I will use that probably to hurt you.
Definitely.
So in the small, I'm hesitant to say kingdom. It's really more like a keep town within the fiefdom of Cobbler's Cove. You are given a mission to hunt down a member of the wildlings in the woods attaching the neutral territory run by King Elroy. The
Mm.
villain you are looking for, known as the Fane Wraith, was said to be attacking convoys, planning to overthrow the Empire, etc.,
Mm.
etc. Not good things. The first clue
Mm-mm.
you've been given is that a city several days south of Cobbler's Cove, known as Narware, had up a magical barrier that kept a plague out at bay. But that
Mm.
barrier was having some issues, so you were going to investigate that on your road stop to try and find information about this Fanewaith. On the
Mm.
way, you find a small, dirty peasant child named Lyra in a riverbank, after your hippo bear heroically sacrifices itself for the good of the mission.
Mm.
You have
Yeah.
rescued this child and enter the city. Realize after doing an obscenely elaborate series of fake identity related shenanigans, making your
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
character the hardest character to track in fiction at the moment. Like, oh man, our inevitable animated series is going to have a pain with how you did this. Manages to
Right.
not have her go in a sack, but break in backwards through an exit dungeon, meet up
Mm-hmm.
with the thing, get more intel, leave, fake your death, have your body thrown on a fake body thrown on a fire. But you didn't fake your death, you faked someone else's death, so now there's just grieving widows. But you faked someone's death who was already dead. It was convoluted as hell. Through,
Right.
so eventually you find yourself to the next stop on your destination of Lyra's hometown, a place that no
Mm.
longer existed on any maps. After being tempted to steal a panacea flower growing in the middle of the village, you
Right.
realize that this was some Resident Evil shit and noped the hell out. Which is rare, by the way. It is rare when I've been running tabletop games for about a decade now. People rarely
Mm-hmm.
just run from an encounter outright. I'm proud of myself. You got the hint. You're like, no, I'm getting it. No, I'm out. Buy a piece. I think it's the part where the will comes alive and starts screaming at people that get them. When they realize
Well, I
it's
mean,
made of dead
the
bodies.
creepy statues were definitely part of the whole thing, but yeah, that was.
Technically, the statues were petrified corpses, and it was the plants that were trying to kill you by likening and anting the situation. Aphid and anting the situation. Anywho,
Mm.
you do make it to Worm's Hearth Crossing, and descend to the secret laboratory below it. Realizing there is a captive spirit, you set it free to do its vengeance. Hiding inside a
Mm-hmm.
Foss-bottom treasure chest, you successfully survive the destruction of the town, to be met by a few surviving mages. And at this moment, you have a revelation of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Your enemy, who you may have been killed to enable someone else to fake their death, may have been associated with the same chain of Imperial mages that were trying to murder you. After
Right.
an epic one-on-one water duel, making the Naruto vs. Sasuke Valley fight to shame in its epic choreography. Turn to previous episodes to check that out. You successfully lived. Now being alive successfully, you decide,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go this river where there's a bunch of people in boats with sticks looking for dead bodies. I'm going to take the treacherous mountain route. You climb a hill. It was a very intensive hill climb. That was a... But once you made it to the top, a bird picked you up and flew away.
Oh. And poor Lyra was on my back in her Nezuko basket. And when the bird attacked, Leroy put down the basket so that she wouldn't get hurt, and ended up leaving her abandoned on a mountaintop as he was carried away,
And 4
faking his
weeks have
death so that the bird wouldn't actually kill him.
And a month has passed since then, and you've successfully found yourself in the treetop catfolk village of Allura. Boozed, brattered, missing some metacarpal bones, stealthier, but it turns out an ever-growing cancerous vegetation region that if you're just dropped in the middle of it, finding things is hard. It turns out if someone just ikasais you into a Studio Ghibli movie, life becomes a lot harder than you would think. It's not like a compass is going to help you. I say as somebody who once went
Well, I
much
mean,
to for some context before you tell me about your navigation skills. When I was a lad, me and
mm,
my mother went mushroom picking one time by driving up on a road, walking down a dirt
oh,
trail to pick some mushrooms to bring home for food purposes. Edible mushrooms, not edible mushrooms, you get me? So, it
mm-mm.
only took going off the trail a little bit for us to like become dangerously lost and her to start figuring out how we would make shelter for the evening because the sun was starting to set. So before you tell me about your navigation
Oh.
skills, just go out in the woods once first, Carl. Just literally go camping once in your life and then tell me how easy navigating the woods is.
No, no, I wasn't going to tell you how easy navigating the woods is.
I thought you were. I thought you'd be like, well, it's not
I
that hard.
generally avoid navigating the woods. No, I was going to say I bet Leroy had some help, a small amount of help, not enough to actually help him find his way, but a small amount of help from the Bone Fairy, older brother to the Tooth Fairy.
Excellent. And with that, as you find yourself in the city of Allura, having taken a couple days to rest, clean up, shave, you basically said, I am an Imperial spy, and here is information I stole from the Empire. You tried to lie, but you accidentally just objectively told the truth.
Well, I mean, I left out some details, but yeah,
You
that's
have very much betrayed your nation at this point. You have absolutely just walked up to Russia being like, oh, I just found these binders in Trump's bathroom. Anywho, can I have a sandwich?
well, I mean, got to ingratiate myself somehow.
I think my favorite failed dice roll of all time, and I like put this out as our like social media clip from the last episode, is when you rolled, went to lie, and your badge just fell out of your pocket on the table. So at this point, you can gain the
Okay.
benefits of a long rest,
Excellent.
and at no point did you actually die, so I don't have to have you roll to see if you're permanently scarred. I think you're good.
Yeah, I never took any severe damage, so
And what is your hope currently at?
uh, I seem to have 5 hope. Although I guess I should spend 3 of it to up my evasion for the time being. So
Very well then. And I am sitting at an impressive 5 fear at the moment. So with that,
ooh,
you found yourself in the treetop village of Allura. Natural shelter as the huts and bridges are shielded by thick vines and branches. A lot of like hand-woven twine has wrapped around things to make a lot of stuff into makeshift scratching posts for easy climbing and scratching. And one thing you've known from your few days here is that
mm,
there's hidden catfolk everywhere. You think you see all the catfolk. You look again and they're behind you. Like this place
mm,
is well fortified. It isn't a
mm.
hugely large population, right? It's not like there's millions of catfolk here. Like probably about a community of maybe 30 or so. There is also some non-cat folk. You do see a couple avian, some fae. You do see. So, after meeting the bone fae, and you saw some tooth fairies, it took a couple days to recover from your trauma a bit to realize that these tooth fairies are shaped like teeth. So they have little stubby legs, made out of like
Okay.
the roots you would expect of a molar are 4 legs, with eyes that
Mm,
look like you have cracked enamel with eyes peering out of it, and little winds of a
okay.
sinewy bone structure like gum tissue. These tooth fairies.
Oof.
So, now that you find yourself in the city of Allura, you do notice that it's a very spiritual town.
Mm,
Like, there seems to be various taboos. They don't really tell you about them, much like cats are wont to
mm,
do. But, like, you feel like these shrines are strategically put. You feel like people in robes have higher rankings. But also,
mm.
there is a lot of napping, a lot of knocking drinks over. And at this point, 2 catfolk have approached you. One is lean, a gray color, and pretty like muscular. This looks like a scrapper. Like they have a build of an MMA fighter. Like picture
Mhm.
Apachai from History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi, but a cat.
Okay.
And next to that one seems to be what looks like. It's hard for you to mentally gauge the age of a catfolk, but their eyes look wise, and they're like a pitch black cat with white whiskers, and a bit of a
Okay.
robe of golden trim, and then a much younger orange cat that basically just looks like ADHD incarnate. And the three of them
Hmm.
approach you.
Just
Yeah,
are they trying to be stealthy?
no, they're just walking up. They're just kind of naturally stealthy.
Okay. Okay. Uh, uh, sorry. Where am I when I'm being approached? Am I like at the bar or like?
Ah, you tell me. Describe a place in
Oh,
the village I have not described yet for you to be hanging out.
hmm. Well, yeah. I think the town bar is called the Crow's Nest, because it's at the it's like a platform on basically on top of the trees, kind of like a ship's crow's nest, except for large enough to have several tables and serving places. Because cats like high places, and it's a good observation for anything around the town. And then also, there's limited exits, which makes it a good place for cats to approach people that they might have nefarious purposes for. Who knows? And this town does seem friendly to ribbits, so I'm assuming I'm having some sort of bug-related alcoholic beverage.
Oh, no issue here. Also, catfolk aren't opposed to eating maple dragonfly pie in any meaningful way. They're fine with it. So, at this point, the orange one, you look away, look again, he's right up next to you. Hi!
Hello.
You smell weird, and then the cat runs away. And then the older one's making direct eye contact at you. Stares at your food, stares at you, stares at your food, stares at you again.
Is there a problem with my food and drink, sir?
It slaps you.
I turn to the other one. What's the issue with your friend here?
You've been eating a lot of food and haven't been bringing a lot of food back in.
Well, forgive me for having a small amount of PTSD from being lost in the woods for a month.
And at this point, the older cat looks like, you have used our hospitality, and this is my polite way of saying it's time for you to get the fuck to work.
Well, do you have a job for me then?
Well, we got a couple things that you'd probably be good at. Don't worry, I'm not just gonna send you back out into the woods. We're not the Empire here. So, you could help stock up the food reserves. We got fishermen, we got hunters, we got gatherers. You could start performing some maintenance, help batten down some houses, clean, polish things up. There's a couple concerning animals in the region you could check out. But really, we're not really... This isn't capitalism here, man. Just, what do you want to do to help the community? What can you contribute?
I see. Well, I don't suppose it's uncommon here, but my main areas of expertise are stealth and sneaking around.
Well, we have a lot of that here. As they say that, you just see, what looks like a chonky, overweight bard that was somehow hiding in a tree. You just, see, his gut peeking out, and it just fades back down the branch. You're like, imagine if Jack Black successfully hid from you. You're like, I see. We're not
Well,
saying no.
these animals that you need taken care of, whereabouts would you say they are?
Hmm. Well, so that's how we kind of do things here. It's like, if you come back with the corpse of a scary monster, we know there's one less scary monster.
Hmm, I see.
And I mean, you could always, like, work some time off at the temple. They're a little less strict. And this is the gray one giving the advice, as the, like, darker one just still glares at you. That way cats do. Because all cats are sociopaths.
Uh, well, it's fair to say that I have been using your hospitality without repaying it. Uh, perhaps I will try some fishing before I visit the temple.
That'll do. And at this point, the little one comes back. Oh, in 2 days, under the full moon, it's the full moon party.
Sounds exciting.
Roll an instinct check for me.
An instinct check.
Mm-hmm.
Instinct.
Sorry, instinct reaction roll. So hope and fear don't matter.
I got a 14.
You do see that the cat is trying to steal from your wallet.
Not so fast there, little one.
Oh, you're good.
Not nice. It's not nice to repay your debts with someone else's money.
Heh, it's funny because you're a freeloader. And then it runs away.
So, who do I go to talk to about this fishing expedition?
And they point to the Jack Black looking tabaxi that now at this point is like halfway climbing. You know when a cat tries to climb? Cats jump up and climb up gracefully, but when they climb down, it's bad. Real bad. Yeah, so you're watching this cat real bad climb back down. He seems to have a cello on his back and like a bunch of musical instruments, but a fishing rod is in his pack of things.
Thank you for your kindness. I'll be off now then.
The black
and
cat,
I head towards the fat
as
cat.
you go to do that, I spend a fear as the black cat just stares at you and you gain a stress.
Oh.
Just from the glare, just from the disapproving glare. You don't know what you did to offend this cat. Probably nothing, honestly.
Okay.
So at this point, you do see that the city of Allura, because of the way you came here, you came by fall there. So there's a massive tree. Like, I don't know. It's hard to like give the exact measurements of this tree, but it's a 1,000-year-old tree.
Right.
And then at the base of it, there's basically a koi pond that encircles below the town, which means if you like fall off one of the rope bridges, you'll fall in the pond, and if you don't hit one of the sharp rocks, you'll probably be fine.
Okay.
And you do see like if after like following along for a bit that it feeds from a larger river, and you do recall that you originally were found by two tabaxis who were fishing.
Right.
And one of them just like kicks off like, just picture like literally one of those log rafts that's like 5 logs and a mast. And he's like, "Hi, you joining the fishing crew?"
Yeah, I would like to join. I don't have my own fishing rod at the moment, though. But I need to do something to maintain my keep here.
Fishing rod, and he just points to like a bunch of harpoons.
Thank you graciously, and I guess I'll take a harpoon.
All right.
Yeah. Does it have rope attached to it, or do I have to use my own rope?
It has rope attached to it.
Okay.
All right, so this tabaxi just kind of kicks off, and the little boat with just the two of you starts heading down the river. Unless there's something you'd like to do.
Well, I mean, I would like to test the strength of this rope, just in case this tabaxi's like trying to fool me with the crappy materials so that it'll look bad.
No, it seems to be pretty legit.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, can I use my botanist extraordinaire experience to determine what kind of material this rope is made of?
Yeah, go ahead and make a knowledge check.
Knowledge. And roll. A 14 with hope. Ooh.
It's like a cedar and basswood twine with like milkweed and cattails. Like it's literally they took a lot of various plants, stripped them, dried them, and wove them. It's a pretty solid rope.
Okay.
It's probably
Pretty solid,
it's
right?
thicker and itchier than like the more like fancy silk rope you got in town, but it is a
Mhm.
strong cordage.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna sit there silently until the tabaxi says something, or we reach our destination.
all right, so as you climb on the raft, it kicks off. He just plays a harmonica and it's like, "We have to fish, da-na-na-na, every day, da-na-na-na." And you realize something. This cat doesn't sing
Mhm.
in tune. And you're starting to realize that that may be the main reason that he's the only person who goes on the fishing expedition.
Hmm.
Do-do-do-do, to find some fish, da-na-na-na. And as you like start leaving, you see a couple tabaxis look at each other and just like, "Heh, idiot."
Well, you know what? Actually, is there anything on the raft that I can use as like percussion to like lay down a beat for him while he's singing his song?
Oh yeah, he has like the full Samwise Genji backpack of like pots and pans and musical instruments and things. So you're just gonna kind of play along then?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll a presence check.
Oof. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Roll. Oh, critical success.
Clear a stress, gain a hope as you're just dun, 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 jamming along. So as you jam along and get to the river, like it goes out to like. Long story short, he basically like takes a curve in the river to find himself in a more wide open. It's not quite as boggy as near Wormshearth Crossing,
Mm.
but you're definitely now past a narrow stream in what would be a more conventionally sized lake, like a Saskatchewan-sized lake, like not a real lake. Like you can see the other side, but you're in a lake now. There's a few parts where like you had to like get out of your raft and like lift it up, the two of you, to like get back to where the water's wide enough to raft. But now that you're like see the narrow stream running into this lake, there's like a small little like stone, almost like a temple coming out of the water in the middle of it.
Okay.
And it's overgrown in luminous algae as you're deep in the night cycle of the day-night.
Right.
As the moon's very slowly heading up where it'll hit the center in a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight moisture making the little stone artifact in the middle of the lake slick and faintly glowing. And it's raining ever so slightly out.
Mm.
And he's just kind of floating in the sea, and he's like, now that we're here to contribute, here's the plan. We're going to break into two teams. Team A is going to go for a quick winker. That'll consist of me. And Team B is going to try and catch some fish. That's going to consist of you. Good plan?
I suppose so.
Awesome. And he like leans back, pulls a straw hat out, like puts it over his mouth, and just is passed out. One paw dipping in the water.
All right. And the raft is now stationary, like, or is it still floating with the current? Or is there a current?
Well, now that you're in this lake, it's just kind of floating. Like it's like there's enough of a current from the like income stream that's like very slowly drifting. But you're like I'm talking like pool floaty drifting.
Right. So the statue is covered with luminous algae.
It looks less like a statue and more like the top of a building.
Okay.
And it is glowing.
Can I use my botanist extraordinaire to try and determine, like, how many like layers of algae there are, and kind of to figure out how old this building is.
Roll a knowledge check.
Knowledge check with +2. Boom. Ooh, a 9 with hope.
9 with hope. It's pretty old. It's stone. Looks like an ancient relic. You'd guess ancient.
So does the glowing of the algae allow me to see under the water at all? To see if there's fish anywhere around this ancient structure?
I'll say roll an instinct check for that one.
Instinct. 12 with hope. Wow, I'm hopeful today.
Much like looking in a real lake, you like occasionally spot a fish, but it's not like there's such a high fish density that it's easy to track the fish coming in and out.
I see.
But it feels like it's hard to tell in this lighting under the moonlight with the algae. Like, you can't, like, super clearly see. But you kind of see a fish or two. There are fish. You're pretty confident.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to try and harpoon some fish because I gotta actually like do some fishing, right?
All right, go ahead and roll a either finesse or agility to try and harpoon a fish.
I'm going to roll finesse. Oh, 13 with fear. Uh-oh.
So as you throw your harpoon in, thunk, you hit something. There's a lot of weight on it, like a lot of tension on the cord.
Uh-oh. Well, I mean, I gotta try and pull whatever it is up.
Okay. So, go ahead and roll a strength reaction roll for me.
A strength reaction roll. Roll. Why are you not? 11 with hope.
11 with hope. So, I'm going to spend a fear as this is kind of stressing you out trying to fish out a fish.
Okay. Mark of stress.
But, you managed to pull to the surface what looks like a pretty large flopping around bass.
I assume that I can find one of those billy clubs to like knock it out.
You find a violin.
Well, I'm gonna attempt to knock it out.
So with a boom, you see him like, "Whoa. I just won a handful of trinkets. You caught a, yeah, believe in you. Awesome." As you like knock this fish out, and then what he does is he like kind of pulls out like a second wicker basket and like attaches it to the side of the raft and dunks it in, so it's like a net that to keep like a fish cooler almost. You have gotten one fish. And it's been about 3 hours at this point. Most of it was travel time to get here, though.
Right. So have we drifted any closer to the ancient structure?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna make sure to throw my harpoon kind of in the direction of the structure so that when I pull up, hopefully we'll drift a little bit closer. But yeah, I'm gonna attempt to catch another fish.
All right, go ahead and roll a finesse check.
Finesse to catch a fish. 21 with fear.
So, roll a strength reaction roll.
Strength reaction roll. Critical success.
Oh, damn. So, you harpooned 2 of these, like, colossal bluefin tuna, right?
Ooh, nice.
As you pull out these giant fish. At this point, the basket's, like, 3/4 of the way full. Like, this is, like, a good fisherman's haul. Like, yeah, this is a week's to 2 weeks worth of sushi you've got today. And your comrade's just like, he caught a fish, banana. Look at him go, do. The sky's okay, da. But you do notice something at this point. Looking a little closer at that structure.
Yeah.
From the like towering moss-covered building, You see there's like a
Mm-hmm.
sickly blue flames just kind of dancing along it.
Mm. A sickly blue flame, huh?
Mhm.
Uh, does there appear to be any entrances to this little like section of the tower that's above the water?
You don't see any entrances to the tower.
Mm.
Above the water, to be clear.
Right, right. I'm part frog, but I am not amphibious.
It's true, but human beings can swim.
Mm-mm. Well, how close are we to the structure now? Like, would I be able to like make a jump to like
Yeah, I think so.
land on?
I'd say you are.
Uh, hmm. All right. Well, so I need to identify the least slippery spot to jump to because moss is generally pretty slippery. Can I use my botanist extraordinaire to find the least slippery spot?
Because you already have botanist extraordinaire, I'm just gonna have you successfully jump from a boat onto a rock. I think you can just have this one.
Okay, okay.
Bloop!
Uh,
You have jumped onto a rock.
okay.
As he's like, what you
Uh,
doing there, bud?
there's something unusual about this rock here.
Yes. Obviously.
Um, well, do you not see the strange blue flame here?
Well, yeah, I'm not blind.
Does the flame seem to be hot?
No.
Um, does it seem to be like the work of a spirit?
Go ahead and make an instinct reaction roll.
Uh-oh. 20 with fear.
So, the air tastes kind of funny. And the fire doesn't hurt. But, I don't know, everything's kind of looking a little... It's like you've had a couple drinks.
Hmm. uh, well, I mean, I guess I'm gonna try and jump back onto the raft.
No issue as you make it back onto the raft.
Mm.
And he's just looking at you confused.
Well, I when uh, spirits they intrigue me, and I just really want to know whether or not this is a spirit in distress or if this is just a normal thing here.
Oh, well, why don't you ask? Like, I come to this lake all the time. I'm surprised you didn't ask me what it was. Yeah, you're looking at a shrine to the deity of... Well, how can I put this? He's the one that when you leave the food out, it becomes alcoholic. From a... The bubbly god. The demigod of bubblies.
Mm.
You know, friend to the owl god. The demigod of bubblies. Who probably has a name of some sort. I can't really translate. That's why we come here. Because there's fish, and it's good for napping.
Hmm. Well, but I've caught several fish here. Do you think maybe we could switch roles for a bit and I could take a little nap?
Roll a persuasion check. Presence check. For this completely reasonable request.
Okay. Uh, okay, and nothing I can do to up this to a 13 with fear. Oof.
I have a counter proposal. You can take your nap,
Mhm.
and we've caught the big fish. You caught a couple small ones. Cook up a couple of the small ones, right? While you take your nap, and then we eat them.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
I
and I'm gonna lay down and take a nap.
Okay, so as you're resting peacefully to the smell of slowly searing fish, this has
Mm-hmm.
been actually a pretty great day. This guy clearly, in true kitchen supervisor fashion, has no intention of actually doing work himself today. But
Right, right.
he likes that you do work, and he likes that you don't give him a hard time that he doesn't do work. But as you find yourself
Okay.
drifting to sleep with on the cyclically alcoholic fumes of what are effectively vodka-infused fish that grow naturally around this shrine to intoxication and this shrine to fermentation.
Mm-hmm.
Not just alcohol, but like you can make sushi rice from the water here pretty easily. You can make kombucha.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it does seem to be the natural process of fermentation is governed on by a minor or major deity that lives below the sunken temple. But as your mind drifts
Mm.
away at night, I'm going to ask you, describe the memory of the day you died.
The memory of the day I died.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I Leroy had been invited to the pub for a few drinks, and having a lot of fun doing karaoke, chilling with friends. Uh, Begins to stumble home uh, when he walking past an alleyway that he'd walked past 100 times before, and there'd never been any trouble before. But this day, suddenly from the darkness, hands grabbed him, uh, and there's the flash of a knife in the darkness uh, as he gets stabbed in the chest 3 times. Um, and as his eyes adjust while he's slowly, as slowly starting to bleed out, he sees the face of his killer. Uh, but for some reason, his memory of their face is hazy.
Well, normally
Uh,
that's the occasion. But this time, in this place, in this mood you're in, for the first time in what could have been possibly the last 3 years to 4 years of your life,
mm,
you're relaxed, you're not being actively pursued, and a few things
mm,
come clearer that you've never really noticed before. On
mm.
the man's left hand was a golden ring, set inside it a red gemstone, and it formed the pattern of an eagle. You notice
Uh-oh.
that the man had blue eyes, and like the face was like looking in a mirror in some aspects, but it was almost like looking like the human you. Like what didn't have the same like texture and slickness, the spots that could be mistaken for moles or frog-like, but instead lightly freckled, still piercing amber eyes, shaggy brown hair, and you see like 2 black lines running down from his left eye that were tattooed on towards his cheekbone.
Ooh.
And then your memory shifts again, and you think of poor Lyra on top of that mountain. You remember her face when you found her on that sandbar, and you saw as you were being grabbed by that eagle and looking away before you decided to play dead. Her hiding in a bush, making eye contact with you, reaching out towards you. And you notice something when
Mm-hmm.
you're in your dream, that when she reached out toward you, since you've rested, bathed, healed up, there's like a mark like the size of her hand, like a red handprint, grasping around your wrist. That won't clean off, won't come away. But with that,
Oh dear.
you awaken to the smell of freshly grilled halibut. And at some point, this mad lad had broken eggs and breadcrumbs out of his bag and managed to set himself up like a makeshift deep fryer. And you're looking at some like crispy, deep fried fish and chips.
Hmm.
As you see, he has like 3 like arcane crystals circled around a glyph that has like a little Bunsen burner set up.
Okay.
As he has like one of those like camping like coffee carafes, but it's being used to like hold boiling fryer oil with a little metal basket in it. He's like one of those like ridiculous Instagram videos of the person doing outdoor cooking. They have a cutting board and a machete, but they just keep pulling out increasingly more elaborate campfire cooking gadgets. That it's just like,
All right.
this is like the most It's like, I went out in the woods and made deep fried fish. You're like, why would you? This is so excessive. And you realize something with like your passive observation. The reason he comes out to the lake of fermentation is partly to
Mhm.
mask the. If you were to just cook like this restaurant quality meal in the woods normally, it'd attract anything nearby. But it's kind of
Right.
drowned out by the ambient smell because this whole place smells just a little bit like sangria.
Mm.
And then you see him do something peculiar though. He like
Mm.
slices off a piece of the fish, like a decent like fish chunk, is like kisses it and goes, "To the woods that provide, I return," and then just throws it in the water.
Mm.
Like fully prepared, delicious meal, and just threw an offering into the lake. And then poured a glass of what appears to be like there's like berries and like mint leaves floating in this bottle of wine as he pours himself a glass, pours a little bit into water, and pours you a glass of like a fine mulled cider.
Mm.
And you're like, there's a reason that this seems to be the chonkiest of the cat folk. The chonkiest Katari in the village is making a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right. All right.
This meal is so good you gain a hope.
Okay.
But you do have a thought grip the back of your mind.
Mm.
You remember that you've been stuck with a bill as they thought they resurrected somebody else. You remember that you've like faked your death 3 times in rapid succession, and a thought
Mm.
that you just can't quite escape enters your mind. Is there a reason to continue your job? What are they gonna do? Like, send cops to the middle of the woods that took you a month to find this place? Attack the flying village of catfolk?
Mm.
Like, a horse isn't getting here. A catapult certainly isn't getting here. A ladder's not getting here. You had to be airdropped in. You could just blissfully retire with the catfolk.
Mm. But then I think back to Leroy thinks back to the dream that he had, and he's thinking about the face of his murderer and how Elroy is still out there doing whatever nefarious deeds he's doing. And Leroy doesn't feel any particular loyalty to Haven, but he does want to stop Elroy from whatever he's doing that he had to fake his own death at Leroy's expense.
Alright. So, after about, like, brunch is served, which is delicious,
Mm. Mm-hmm,
he looks at it and goes, "You should probably give a prayer or two."
mm-hmm. So how closely can I mimic the offerings that he gave?
He took a chef knife, slashed a fish, and threw it. But he did cook it himself.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So I guess that might be out of the question. How close are we to the alcoholic fire shrine?
You can jump to it still.
I am going to jump to the shrine again.
Have that hearty chuckle.
And then I'm going to. Is there a space for me to like bow on the shrine?
Not eloquently, but you kind of can. It's like it's pretty gazebo shaped. It's like standing on top of a gazebo.
Okay. Well, so yeah, I'm gonna find a place where I can kneel, and I'm going to place a piece of fish in the blue fire. And I'm going to just like pray like, "Oh, great spirit, thank you for this daily blessing. We appreciate the bounty of harvest that you bestow upon us. and allowing us to intrude upon your territory.
All right.
Well, that's the extent of my prayer.
The soundless flames don't answer your prayer, but you don't feel like you did
Mm.
anything bad here. You're feeling pretty good about it.
Mm.
Do you return to the Catfolk village then?
Well, so we ate like one of the fish.
Yes.
I do feel like I should try to replenish the fish that we ate.
All right, go ahead and
So I'm
roll
gonna
a finesse check.
finesse check to try and capture one more fish. 18 with hope.
No issue at all. So you've restocked the water cooler, managed to get the raft, picked it up, and like awkwardly walked it back to the river, and begun the journey home, having
Mm.
successfully contributed. So as you return to the city of Allura, they lure you into the
Mm.
food stockpiles, and you
Mm.
realize something. Despite them complaining that they're low on food, there's only like one empty spot of floor that doesn't have stacks of like preserved food and food stashed up. There's just one empty
Okay.
spot on the dish, but they're just so upset that there isn't enough food.
All right.
So after like returning the still alive fish into like the koi pond below the tree, you realize that it's basically a fishery. So what they do is they catch the fish, bring them below the lake, and just kind of like stock them into this hatchery. So they have the fish there,
Mm.
so they can like keep them fresh.
Yeah, makes sense.
You returned. This time they will pull you up on the mechanical elevator instead of like making you do it yourself.
Mm.
And as you've
Very thoughtful
returned,
of them.
you do hear in one of the local taverns some heated voices.
Ooh.
But it could just not be your problem.
Is anybody looking at me?
You got a couple catfolk looking at you, but they've been doing that all week. Like you don't notice anything exceptionally different. Roll a instinct check, instinct reaction roll.
Oh, that little Khajiit is trying to steal from me again, isn't he? 20 with hope.
20 with hope. You see a raccoon staring you down from a nearby tree.
That's ominous.
And you see that little Khajiit is trying to put what looks like a piece of beef jerky into your pocket, trying to reverse pit pocket you.
I'm going to pretend like I don't notice.
You hear the as it runs away. The perfect prank having been achieved.
But are there any shadows that I could walk into?
Yes. Although the moon is getting close to being directly above you, so the shadows are less plentiful, but it is a moonlit town in the middle of the night with torches. There's a plethora of shadows available.
Well, see, because these Khajiit are looking at me. So I would like to, just like casually, like maybe pretend I'm a little tipsy still from the journey to the lake. Kind of stumble into a shadow, and then use my the shadow stepper ability to warp to another shadow so that I'm cloaked, so no one can see me.
Make a spell casting roll.
A spell casting roll, which is finesse. Spell casting roll. Ooh, 7 with fear.
All right, roll another d12 for me.
Another d12. That is a 9.
So, you do realize that you are in fact slightly tipsy.
Okay.
And something about the like innate magic of that lake is kind of weird, because you rolled higher than you would have, but it's like you roll 2 fear dice and 1 hope dice while you're still intoxicated. So you're more likely to succeed, but you're more likely to have weird side effects and generate fear.
Ah.
So how this works out in this case is you did manage to sneak into the shadows and become hidden. but I'm going to go ahead and take my fear.
All right.
So you're both blessed and cursed. It's debatable if this is a good situation to be in.
But so I shadow stepped to another shadow, and now I'm cloaked, and I don't see. I would like to use my uncanny disguise to disguise myself as a cat person, so I can walk into the bar where the heated voices are without standing out. But I have to. Okay, can I use my uncanny disguise to make myself look like that black cat that was just giving me dagger eyes?
So you know that from your time in the town that's one of the high priests of the town?
Oof, okay, maybe I don't want to be that guy.
I'm not telling you can't or you can or can't. I'm just saying that you're familiar that is that would be like, I'm going to hide myself as Zora and Mandabi today. Might not be the best strategy.
Okay. And the fat cat also would not be a good strategy because he's pretty recognizable.
So I will say for context, describe a group of tabaxi that went out hunting. I'll let you just invent a few tabaxi that you saw leave the village today.
Well, actually, there's those two fishermen that found me in the woods in the first place. Hopefully, none of them are at the bar.
I'll say you can tell me they're not at the bar.
But one of them is one of those cats that you would name Boots because it has like the white paws.
Beautiful.
And the white and a little like white spot on his nose, but is otherwise completely black.
Flawless.
Maybe the tips of his ears are also white.
So as you disguise yourself as quote unquote Boots. No, I'm gonna say that cat is named Boots. So, Boots, as you approach the tavern, you see somebody I don't recognize, which appears to be like an elven woman, but her skin is like a dark green with crimson hair and red freckles. And she is just fiercely being, and here's the conversation you catch. All you're doing is sitting out and doing nothing as the invaders cut further and further into the land. Were you really going to stand and gamble about them taking the other eye, taking away this bountiful harvest? Just because your kind can grow fat off the land doesn't mean our people aren't being subjected to horrors. And then one of the cat folks like, seems like a you problem.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna sit down at the bar and order a drink. Continue to listen in on the conversation.
So you're not getting a ton of specifics, but you do notice that this elven woman is flanked by what looks like a ribbon assassin, like an actual name brand assassin.
Ooh, okay.
And seems to be like an incredibly jacked and tatted dwarf.
Oh.
And you're hearing bits about like how they're complaining that they took over Wormshearth Crossing, how there was atrocities there, how the Empire day by day is moving, and do you think Cobbler's Cove isn't just going to spread until they've cut down every tree, turned every farm into a flower pasture, as they spread the plague that was bestowed upon them by the gods for their hubris? And you can kind of picture what's happening here. Like, I don't think I need to give you the line for line to pick up the energy that's being put down here. They're basically being told that this village is profiting because of the never-ending spring is good for their kind. But it won't be long before Haven plucks out the sowing eye and has ownership over growth as well.
Huh. Well, and so who does the elf appear to be talking to?
The tabaxi that you nearly impersonated.
Oh, the high priest guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Who you can recognize from
Interesting.
the symbols is very much adorned and accoutrement of the lunar spirit.
Of the lunar spirit. Makes sense why he's having a lunar festival.
Mm.
Hmm. Uh, do I recognize any of the accoutrements of the elf lady?
Um, Go ahead and roll a instinct check.
Instinct. 16 with hope.
So, their outfit kind of has like. Give me a second to get the specific details here. I don't want to mislead you. Okay, so you're looking at like. So this elfin woman, you see they have like one of those like you know those like fancy ballroom masks, like the ones that like go over the nose and eyes and wouldn't do shit,
Mm-hmm.
but it's pitch black.
Mm.
And their color palette is very monochrome. So like grayish browns with charcoal blacks. They seem to be wearing like almost like a cream and light tan bodysuit with like this overarching like gray and black color palette going on with like a fur choker.
Mm.
Like an overall
So
earthy
you would
muted palette.
so you would say they look like they could be 3 raccoons in a trench coat then.
Well, they're definitely wearing a trench coat. You know, I went so far on my way to even be a little bit subtle about it. Did not work. Did not work at all, but yes.
Ah. Hmm. Well, how much longer does this conversation go on for?
So, after about an hour passes, and their voices went less intense, and you see more shot glasses at the table.
Hmm.
And you hear them just kind of go, "Look, listen, old friend. I know that the spirits are sacred, but I know you disagree, but if we can get to it first, we can stop them from claiming it for themselves."
Hmm.
And it's like you would maim the one that watches over. It's like, I know you have the key. Just let me in. Let me in to talk. Let me in to stop the overgrowth. As it keeps going, more and more people are just being lost to the woods. It took a month to get here. A month!
Hmm. Interesting.
And they start talking a bit more about, like, you use the keywords like the curse, the petrified moving on their own, and that it's like the curse is because one eye is going, not two. And they're
Hmm.
basically proposing that this cat folk let them into a place to take the other eye,
Right.
which will solve the immediate problem. But the long-term and the cat's arguing about the long-term consequences are not being considered, just as they were weren't when Haven invaded in the first place. And it's
Hmm.
talking about possibility of success. The fate. It's like you can't just because Haven stole one eye doesn't mean the solution is for you to steal the other.
Hmm. Hmm. Because this is that seems to very clearly be the Fane Wraith.
I don't know, what rumors do you have to check here?
What rumors do I have to check? Well, uh, that the Fane Wraith is the Spy Master's daughter.
Go ahead and roll a
Was
knowledge
that
check. because you met Kern Dor, the Spine Master, at the very start of this adventure, and just see if there's like any like thematic overlap going on here.
A knowledge check, you said, yes?
Yeah, a knowledge reaction roll.
A knowledge reaction roll. That's an 18.
So Kern Dor, you're like, you first go like, what race was this person? Tried to like start there, and you're like,
right.
They were either human or elven because they had a hood. You didn't really think to like check if they had pointy ears or not. That didn't occur to you at the time.
Right.
Their jawline's kind of similar, maybe? So you're not really sure how legit that rumor is. You don't have evidence to be like, no, this is impossible. But you don't have, it's like you can't confirm it one way or another, which innately makes it suspicious. Like, if you looked at someone and they're like, you look like John Lennon, are you related to John Lennon? And they responded with, no, but you look at them and you're like, oh, with those sunglasses and that hair, though.
Let's see. The only other rumor that stuck out to me from the interrogation was the 3 raccoons in a trench coat.
It's hard to argue that they don't have a raccoon leitmotif going on.
And they are wearing a trench coat. So it's tough to say whether or not they're the Fainwraith's daughter, or whether or not they're the Spymaster's daughter, or if they're just the raccoons in a trench coat.
Or just a person who happens to be raccoon themed. Because if you're trying to like frame someone as you and put a bunch of rumors out about you being 3 raccoons in a trench coat, this would be a fantastic decoy.
That's true.
You rolled high enough for me to give you unhelpful information.
Well, I think so technically that's my second roll while disguised, so I do need to like
it was a reaction roll, so I didn't punish you on that.
Okay. Well, see, I was gonna say I do need to find a place to stealthily drop my disguise.
Okay. Honestly, no issue at all. You're in a tavern in the middle of the night during a week of night, surrounded by catfolk who are just napping haphazardly, and everyone there is relatively drunk, because this is a pretty... You found a hippie commune, let's be honest. You found a society of cats that get to live in indefinite spring, with the long summer days for sleeping, and the long nights for sleeping.
But so... I now that I'm not in disguise, I'm going to casually approach her. I mean, I know she has armed guards, but I'm going to casually approach her and say, excuse me, but I believe that your father has sent me to see whether or not you and Elroy have completed your mission yet.
Oh, damn. Roll a presence check, but I'm going to let you know something. You just made a very bold swing.
Probably. Okay, can I apply my identity theft to that?
Yep. But
Nice.
I'm just going to know, if you're... Okay. This is a gambit. This is a gambit and a half.
21 with hope! Woohoo! That's pretty good.
So, this is an incredibly tense moment. So you go up and you're like, your father. You didn't name drop the father. You said your father has sent me to see if you and Elroy are done your work. So, here's the chain of events that happens. You see that there's 3 tabaxis that pull various crossbows out in different corners of the room.
Mm-hmm.
You see that the claws of the High Priestess begin to, like, crackle with arcane moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
You see that the bartender, who is a large Minotaurian-like person, just pulls a sledgehammer out from under the bar. You
Mm-hmm.
see the but the assassin frog does one of your trademark shadow steps.
Okay.
You see
Okay.
the dwarven man pulls out like a guts greatsword off his back. You
Okay.
see the trench coat starts rippling as their eyes look directly at you. You
Mm.
have bought yourself one sentence before you don't know. There's a lot of things that were just said that resonate. So actually, make a instinct reaction roll
Instinct reaction roll.
as
Oh,
you have
hopefully
your
this is
Sherlock
good.
Holmes moment.
Oh no! Rolled a 3.
How much hope do you have?
I'm full. I have 6 hope.
I'm going to make you a devil's offer. If
Okay.
you surrender all of your hope, I'll allow you to
Mm-hmm.
reroll this.
Oh, well, I do already have my evasion
Hmm.
upped from my thing. So, oh no, I guess I only have 5 hope because I did apply identity theft. But
Well, the surrender all of your hope still stands. I wasn't foolish
I
enough to give you a number.
I will surrender all my hope
All right.
to reroll that because that is okay. Instinct reaction roll. Let's see. Statistically speaking, it won't get worse. Okay, that was a 12.
So here's what you read on people from how each word resonates. So when you say your father, you watch your
Mm.
eyes and pupils. You're having a full-on Sherlock Holmes moment for the record. At the phrase
Okay,
your
okay.
father sent me, her eyes narrow. A few people from your first night, including the bartenders, eyes narrow. From you walking in the room and speaking at all, they were already on guard.
Right.
From the next phrase of, have you and Elroy, that is when the priestess began casting and the tabaxis drew their weapons as a trigger. In
Mm.
response to that is when she started channeling something arcane, her assassin disappeared, and her dwarf
Mm.
drew their weapon. So the triggering phrases were, your father spooked her,
Mm-hmm.
and then Elroy spooked the cat folk. They reacted to Elroy being mentioned, and now her troop is acting defensively. And you probably can get out one more sentence before whatever piece of information you just casually dropped. Remember, you already gave documents and information that you yourself did not fully read all of
Mm.
to these Katari.
Mm. Right,
Specifically,
right.
files from a lab about in this holy city. You gave them files about how they were experimenting on spirits, and the name Elroy just triggered them. And you do remember in those documents the mentions of a faction working under the Archmage to exploit spirits for power, how they stole a local deity and wiped a town off the map. This information has been given to these catfolk by you, saying this name Elroy is somebody who wiped a town off the map by stealing a spirit, and this person who's been trying to convince them to hunt down a spirit, you just said is in leagues with this person. This is a series of flashbacks you have at this moment that burned up as all the hope fades from your body and you realize what you have just done.
Mm.
You do have a
Uh,
full action before things start to play out.
right, right,
And
right.
I will say you rolled high enough. You don't think the catfolk are going to kill you because you've been here for 2
Right.
weeks and have been mostly a
Mm-hmm.
positive force. Went out for a job.
Mm.
You also notice that Miko the Bard, who was the chonky tabaxi that was with you today, is
Mm-hmm.
like he's like staring intently from he's at the bar obviously, and he just turns around on
Right,
his
right.
stool with a face of confused Po from Kung Fu Panda.
Dang it. Um, oh boy. So the tabaxis probably won't attack me.
Probably, maybe.
The stealthy assassin though. The stealthy assassin is definitely gonna try and kill me.
You could still use your words. Fighting has not technically broken out yet.
Okay. Well, can I actually use being dead as an experience to now attempt to oh, dang it, I don't have the Riz, but I I want to pretend like after I said that suddenly some sort of poison is kicking in and I start choking and dying.
What? Do you have? So you're faking the poisoning. Okay.
Yeah.
I will let you use the experience to make this check. What? Oh.
Okay, let's see if this. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but a 14 with fear.
All right, give me a moment. I need to look at some numbers.
Oh no, I can't apply my being dead. I have no hope. You're right.
If you had rolled with fear, you could have. Sorry, if you'd rolled with hope, you could have.
Ah.
So what did you get?
Well, if I don't apply my thing, I would have -2. Well, so I would have got a 12 if I don't have my being dead application.
And you don't have anything that gives you advantage on this that I'm aware of.
No.
So you got a 12.
Yeah.
So as I pull up the stat blocks for the various things that are about to happen, because there's a lot of people involved in this, not everyone is fooled, I regret to inform you.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
So, and with fear, movement goes back to me, and I am obligated by my role as GM to play this out as fairly as I can.
Right.
I think I'm not lowering your anxiety here at all.
I've
almost added all the enemies I need to this encounter.
Okay.
Because I wasn't expecting this to be a combat encounter, but here we are.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I'd say that would be one of those. So, as you, like, and fall to the ground.
Yeah.
Alright, rolling some dice on my end. So, none of the big three that you're dealing with fell for that.
Right.
So, the first thing that's going to act is the Fane Wraith is going to touch her pinky to her thumb, twist it, crack her wrist.
Oh, I thought for sure she was going to say skadoosh.
So, a patch of thorns wraps around you while you're on the floor. And you take 12 points of... Oh, you don't take the damage yet. Okay. You are currently restrained in a patch of thorns.
Okay.
On the floor.
And...
I am sorry, Carl. You might be dying today. Does a 20 hit?
A 20 does hit.
So, the Master Assassin uses they won't see it coming, which allows it to do direct damage, which cannot be reduced by armor.
Okay.
And I could spend a fear to up the tier of the damage. So you take 2. So you take 22 points of direct damage. What is your threshold?
Okay. 21 is my severe damage threshold.
So, because of its subtle blade, won't see it coming, momentum, and strike is 1, you take 4 hit points of damage.
Okay.
As you're tied up in brambles and stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Then, the orc, the dwarf,
Mm-hmm.
walks up with its gut sword
Right.
and... Sorry, I'm just trying to find where I put this file. Ah, here we go. And as the Doom Paladin that he is, he's going to hit you with a Judgment Strike.
Okay.
Does a 14 hit you?
Yes.
Make a Presence reaction roll.
Presence reaction roll of 14.
So, mark a stress.
Uh-huh.
As he hits you with the Judgment Strike, so that is 18 points physical damage.
Mm-hmm.
And describe the guilt and dread taking hold as you remember a broken promise.
Oh, man. I mean, I guess I didn't really promise Lyra anything, but holy Dinah, do I feel guilty about just leaving her on a mountaintop for a month and a half. And the idea that she was now picked up and eaten by the giant eagles instead of me.
All right.
Oh, that's the worst.
Okay, so I'm currently sitting at 4 fear remaining.
Did the judgment strike? Oh, wait, you said it did 18?
Yeah.
So I could mark 2 armor slots to make that 0 damage?
No, you can only use 1 armor slot at a time.
Okay, so I might make that minor damage instead of major. Only mark 1 hit point.
All right, I'm going to spend a fear for the assassin to disappear into a shadow.
Okay.
And lastly,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to spend a fear as the bar table, one of the bar stools, and a coat rack twist and turn into life and become 4-foot tall sentient raccoon statues.
Oh my.
Yep. That is objectively not what I thought was going to happen, but here we are.
Okay.
So I have to open the sheet for things on things on things. These are not units I thought I'd have to be using all in combat right now.
Mm-hmm.
To our listeners' immense pleasure, this was going to be a political exchange. This was written
Right.
for drama. So now that it's grown these trees and saplings, they immediately act.
Okay.
Does a 14 hit you?
A 14 does hit.
So I'm going to spend another fear, reducing my fear budget at least. So I am burning through my fear like crazy, which is lovely for you, bringing me down to 2 fear.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at that 2 fear, these saplings will use their group attack. So all 3 of them move into melee range of you who is currently tied in thorns to the ground. And they make a shared attack roll. On success, to deal X damage each. The damage based on the number of treants and their damage output. So you're looking at 24 damage?
Holy.
As these furniture just starts beating you. So here's how this fight went down. You're like, so you walk up and be like, your father sent me to see if you finished your job with Leroy. Vines wrapped around you, thorns stuck up, slammed you to the ground. As you were falling, an assassin stabs you in the back. You fall to the ground, and 3 pieces of furniture and a dwarf. Have you seen the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 gif of the person finishing the wine and then just kicking the crap out of the non-stand user? That is what's happening to you right now, effectively.
Yeah, no, I mean that's it. I've been killed.
Oh.
Death move.
So you have 3 options available
move.
to you here. The first
I have
option
no hope, so
is the first option. You can end the scene and leave things to the story's fate. The second option is you can roll. If you roll high, if your hope is higher, you get back up. If your fear is higher, you die. Or you can go out in a blaze of glory. If you exit this scene, I will remind you, you do have friends in this bar.
Right. Okay, so sorry, my options are
Go unconscious.
Blaze of Glory.
Yep. Go unconscious and exit the scene, and you'll roll to see if you get a scar. Blaze of Glory, where you get an automatic critical hit. Or Risk It All. Sorry, Blaze of Glory, Avoid Death, or Risk It All are your three options.
Temporarily dropped unconscious. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, I'm going to risk it all.
Okay, that's a choice. Alright.
Roll your duality die. Okay, so...
I swear,
duality.
I've had more players die in this game where you kids just simply choose to not die than any other TPRPG I've ever ran.
Ah, no! The fear!
So, here's how this plays out. As they jump you, just brutally, as you get stabbed in the back, wrapped to the ground, and stabbed 5 times, like, as literally a coat rack puts its hand through your chest.
Right.
And you begin to fall over. You see screams, you see tears as your new friend, the bard, pulls out his lute and rushes into the fray. You see the tabaxi in the moonlight as a pillar of moonlight shoots down from the heavens and blasts through the bar. You see it hit the side of the elven woman as she shapeshifts into a raccoon and starts scurrying away. You see the dwarf shot by 6 crossbow bolts and drops to his knees before the bartending minotaur takes his head clean off with a swing from his sledgehammer. The assassin vanishing. But as your last light begins to fade, you think of Lyra on the cliff top several days ago. And that's where we'll pick up next session. You are dead.
No, Leroy. Oh.
So, thanks for the test run. So I'm running this in person in a week and a bit, right? Like next Saturday. And, oh man, that was such a bold move to, in the middle of their political meeting, be like, you're the daughter of an enemy and her ally with a war criminal is such a thing to say to somebody you haven't met. What's more wild is, like, the version of this where the tabaxi imprison you instead, but it was the father thing, right? Like, that was the one that made them have to do something. Because they're like, they could talk their way out of being paired with this person, but, like, that accusation is brutal.
Right.
So, for context, had you chose to just drop to 0, what would have happened is I would have allowed you to roll some dice to determine this fight would have played out without you. And you would have rolled some dice to see how many of the tabaxi survived the encounter to fight away the Fane Wraith.
Right.
So you would have woke up, and I literally would have had you make a death move roll for each tabaxi that was named to see who survived.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you would have woke up, you would have probably had a scar, and you would have known that a battle took out between the factions broke down. But yeah, you just died. It wasn't like you tipped the scales. So yeah, you did learn, however, that the Fane Wraith seems to be a dryad druid. And
well, I mean, Leroy learned that. Unfortunately, I am not able to convey any information to anyone else. But
you can though. So I will give you a little piece of information. So before you were separated by the Eagles, Lyra put a brand on you that allowed her to scry on you and watch what was happening with you. So Lyra saw all this.
So
whatever character you play next week, the session will start with you either finding Lyra somewhere or being
Right.
Lyra. Those are your two big options.
Right.
So this information, at least an NPC knows this information.
Yeah, okay.
But we like to do our debrief at the end of these sessions. What did you think of this session of Daggerheart? The death of Leroy. Oh, what a beautiful thematic session, by the way, that your character's like, you could just retire here. You could live a peaceful life among the catfolk. For the first time ever, you feel de-stressed. And that's the day you die. Like, this was your last day, was giving a prayer, having a decent meal, doing a hard day's work, being a normal citizen, and just being brutally murdered.
Well, I mean, Leroy's sense of justice wasn't going to let him just give up. You know, it's just he couldn't. I wish I'd rolled better on the fake my poison kind of thing.
Well, you didn't commit. So, like, you pretend to be seizing from poison, right? And they all then attack you. And you didn't choose the play dead move. Why did you try and get back up?
Because that seemed like more fun.
It's just so funny to me, because it's like, if you just chose the not die option, then technically your plan worked perfectly, right? Like, you pretend to die of poison, you get stabbed and hit, and then you wake up the next day and they think you're dead. Like, it would have been a perfect faking of your death.
Well, that would have been on brand.
And the catfolk would have assumed you were poisoned. But you're like, no, I need to roll the dice. Because there's dice to be rolled.
Okay,
You could have just did your plan.
Not exactly a flaw of design, but firstly, the idea that it's you can choose not to die just feels like cheating.
Well,
like,
you do roll to get a permanent scar, and if you get enough permanent scars, you're forced to retire. So I think maybe I should have pitched on that, like, instead of being like, you can choose not to die, I should have said, you can choose to roll and take a scar, and when you get a certain number of scars, your character retires from emotional damage.
Right.
Like, I should have, like, hyped up that you make a dice roll to get a scar, maybe?
Well, I mean, even so, it's just like, avoid death, and it's like, that's still, like, yeah, you get a permanent scar, sure. Like, what are the permanent scar options?
You tell me.
See, scars section. Let's see what they have to say about scars.
You do permanently get one less hope slot.
You can cross out one of your hope slots. Narrative impact of the scar might be up to you. Might be a physical scar, painful menu, deep fear. Scars are permanent, can be healed by the GM's discretion or as a downtime.
Because for the record, for how you died, the scar would have been like the memory of this and like the hole through your chest from where you were stabbed.
Okay. So if you lose all your hope, then that's when you die.
Yeah.
Or, well, you retire, but...
So it's basically, you can choose the not die option. And if you're unlucky, you can only do it 5 times ever.
Makes sense.
And the odds of dying of memories, of getting a scar, get worse the higher level you are. Like, the odds increase the higher level you are of getting a scar.
Okay, so this doesn't actually say... like, you roll the dice to get a scar?
Yeah, so I'll have to double check exactly how it works here. This is why I have a physical rulebook in front of me. But yeah, it's what happens is you roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll your hope die. If the value is equal to or under your character's level, they gain a scar.
Yeah, so the higher level you get, the more likely you are to get a scar. When you get enough scars, you're just out. Also, once you fall down below like 3 hope, it becomes kind of brutal because you lose your class feature.
Right. That would be pretty brutal.
So, like...
but no, I enjoyed the session.
Way to call my bluff whether or not I would just straight up kill you in this live recorded session, but... You forever learned that I am fine murdering you.
I mean, I already knew that you were fine just murdering players. That's not that you want to murder players, but when they give you the chance.
Well, I will say though, when the game says you can just not die, I really have no reason to feel guilt. Because, like I said, like in this situation, you would have woken up of the aftermath of the battle in a hospital bed to whatever catfolk survived.
Hmm.
But it makes for a good story because now, like I said, one NPC saw this go down, who is a 10-year-old girl that your next NPC will find.
Right, right.
Because that's like your only restriction, and we could do the character building live for your new character. Or we could, like, speedball it. And what level did Elroy make it up to?
Leroy made it to level 3.
So I believe we decided that your new characters come in one level lower than you were.
Alright.
So you get to come in at level 2.
Alright, sounds good.
Not really to punish you, but just... I shall let you just come in at level 3. But what did you think of this session? Because we moved from me having like a pre-structured dungeon to me using the Witherwild locations chart. So it's like, I have a City of Allura map that talks about the NPCs and the characters there. And I also had a environment block for... I'm trying to remember the exact name, but it was the Hollow Pond.
Hmm. Well, the Hollow Pond was that was with the shrine, right?
Yeah. And it was basically the knowledge that you're at a pond, there's the blue fire tree, there's a spirit of fermentation here. And you could have went and explored inside it if you really wanted to, like, treasure hunt. Like, I had my little dungeon planned out of it. Had you climb down and decide to waterworld the dungeon, you had a little dungeon to explore, had some fermentation monsters you could have cleared out to make the spirit happy.
Yeah. See, I was thinking about that, but then I was like, I can't actually breathe underwater, so...
So had you asked the cat guy, he would have cast water breathing on you?
Oh, yeah.
Because you were with a bard, who has bard powers.
I don't know. Like, that section, especially all the times I rolled with fear when I was fishing, I thought for sure something was gonna, like, I was gonna, like, pull up a monster.
So I deliberately avoided doing that because it felt too obvious.
You're right.
Because, like, having another sea monster attack you, I don't know, I kind of, with how, like, brutal the last session was, wanted to, like, give you a chance to, like, role-play out your trauma. Right? Like, if you ditch Lyra, having your character do something mundane really kind of, like, builds that narrative thread.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed that, and it was, like, it was a nice reprieve from the brutality that was the last session.
Because you had a couple intense sessions back-to-back, so I deliberately tried to make this a little more laxed with my cat village. Also, every cat folk in that village is based off an actual cat I know. Every one of them.
That's funny.
It's going to be such a treat for my players when they get to the cat folk village in the week and, like, describe these NPCs. That's just because every person there has a cat that I could describe.
Right.
And then Miko the Chonky Bard is my cat. Who's largely unhelpful. And did not at all influence my writing of him. Picky bugger.
But no, I definitely enjoyed that session. I don't know. I didn't really walk up to the Fane Wraith having a plan of what to do next. And faking my death seems to be the Leroy special.
That could have worked. So for the record, had you succeeded faking your death, which, to be fair, I literally used... So I used the Dryad stat block for the Fane Wraith, because I had to find an appropriate stat block pretty quickly, because, quite frankly, I wasn't sure until this session what to be, but... So a Dryad is a tier 3 leader. That sounds fair for the Fane Wraith, right?
Okay.
So I picked her, and her DC is 16, because all creatures in Daggerheart just have, like, a universal difficulty stat. So that is what I used to decide what got convicted by your faking your death. Was there? I grabbed a Dryad, I grabbed a Doom Paladin, and I grabbed a Master Assassin stat block relatively quickly on the fly. to make up my little
Right.
squad.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the Dryad, I wanted a Druid, but they didn't like have an NPC Druid stat block that could wild shape. So I'm gonna have to like actually flesh out my Feynrace stat block for real because I haven't actually written up the Feynrace stat block yet. So I'm like, okay, this is happening. So like I use their improv guide where it's like, okay, tier 3 means this is so because I needed to make them as strong as you would have been if you fought them appropriately. So
Right.
Daggerheart tier 3 is around levels 5 plus, right? So you're at level 3. You're probably going to level up after this session to 4. And then the next one, and then like about 3 sessions away would have made sense to fight the Feynrace.
Right.
So that was the logic. I wasn't just bullying you. And then for the fight budget, the other 2 were tier 2 enemies, so appropriately strong for you. So it was like mathematically the fight was relatively balanced because you did have allies.
Right.
And had you gotten a turn, I was, you know the thing I do where I'll have like NPCs basically negate characters where I was going to have the assassin and the bard get in a fight, the bartender and the tabaxis fight the one, so it would just be you versus the Feynwraith effectively.
Right.
Is how I probably would have balanced it, and it would have been more of like a survival encounter because the Feynwraith was just trying to get away.
Right.
But we'll never know now. But that was like a little
We'll
behind the
never know.
scenes of me being like, okay, I need monsters now. Crap. There was a point where I'm like, oh, here's a stat block for an Archangel. I'm like, that's excessive.
Excessive, yeah. But yeah, there's like I don't. One of the funny things about this character is that, as I said earlier, their presence stat is -1.
Yeah.
And I just I was trying to be stealthy and I was trying to blend into like crowds and do like presence things, and it's just like perpetually. Even when I raised my stats at the end of last session, I chose not to raise my presence stat because I was like, I need to raise finesse and agility because.
Well, what's really funny is for the playing a rogue, which in Daggerheart is like you get literally it's split into like shadow powers and talking powers. What's funny is the spying on them went perfectly. It was the then interrogating them that failed. Because had you just simply like waited for them to leave the bar and then tailed them for a bit and tried to like just simply spy on them for a while, you could have then like went to the catfolk and be like, yo, listen, I think this is the Feynwraith. Here's my data.
Right.
And then the dice roll would have been, how many cats can I convince to help me rather than, am I going to set off a civil war? But I like, you're one of my favorite players because you'll lean into, failure is more interesting than success in D&D. Pretty evident by the fact you're dead right now.
Right.
I know damn well you went out to confront them because you wanted to, because to you, that wasn't the most strategic option. That was the most interesting option. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that, I assume, was your thought process.
Well, yeah, it is. I waited at least twice to see if you would just let them leave and let me tell them. And then the third time, it's like, okay, maybe I could try and wait it out, but I'm more likely to get information quicker and confirm or deny the rumors that I've heard.
Oh, you fool. You could have just said, I wait till they leave. That's all you had to do. It's a cooperative role-playing game. You just needed to say, can I wait till they leave? And I would have said, yes. Would you like a drink with that? You overthought that one. You're like, this is not a video game. You don't have to like wait for the animation to play. You could just tell me that you're buddy, pal, friend.
I gave you 2 opportunities. You gave me spying chances. I was like, okay. Then the fastest way to move things forward and confirm things, and also it's just like they obviously weren't talking about Leroy. So name dropping him was also a way for my character to advance the lore that is actually specific to what his goals were.
Oh man, it's just funny because like, because of how you built your character, had you like left her a note on the table, be like, oh, I'm gonna like have the bartender send this note, and it's like, what do you know about Outroy, and then watch the reaction as they read the note. Like, there's so many ways that I thought that was going to go. That was not, hey, hi,
Well,
are you...
to be fair, my whole shtick was that this guy is not a spy. He is a
normal dude,
somewhat normal dude who was forced into a situation that he is uncomfortable with. Doesn't know how to be a spy. He's not subtle. Like,
So you know what didn't occur to me at the time though? So in their like Void content, I forgot that they added transformations a few weeks ago, and one of them is to like come back as an undead.
oh,
So I could have offered you, hey,
be-
do you want to take the reanimated transform card?
that's we'll have to keep that in mind for next time I die.
Your
because
two options
I
are
will die again.
the reanimated card and the ghost card. Were both like in retrospect. But you didn't die in a way that, how can I put this? You died so brutally, it would have been hard to justify reanimating you. So, like, say your cause of death was you fell off the tower, right? Like, she pushes you, and you, like, like, no body confirmed kind of death. Then I could have been like, would you like to take the reanimated card? Or the ghost card?
Right.
But being tied to the floor and beaten to death by chairs. This seems like, yeah, hard to justify how you were, like... Also, I don't think the Tabaxi, for how you died, are like, we need to resurrect him to continue his sacred mission.
Right.
I'm poisoned! Okay.
Well, and I was kind of playing a triple agent.
Yeah. Oh, man. Good job, by the way. So you know I had to make a joke last week that you weren't just a fake Haven spy, you were just effectively spying on Haven? You weren't a fake double agent. You did just go in and cause a faction of allies to split up for Haven. Like, you actually did just successfully, drastically advance Haven's agenda.
Drastically advance Haven's agenda. Oh boy.
Because, like, yeah, you just broke up two allied factions that were having a war council meeting.
Dang it.
And you died to do it, too,
not a
right?
spy.
They have no reason to doubt that you were sincere because you died for it. Oh, man. Also, the first assassin being like, it does an extra threshold of damage and it's direct damage. I'm like, well, that sucks for you. How's that thing here, too? Oh, man. I was just going to troll you by using your own Shadow Step shenanigans. That's my entire plan. Well, as long as you had fun and don't have to then go online and go to /Reddit, my terrible DM punished me unfairly.
No, I think that was perfectly fair. I had lots of fun. Thank you for DMing Leroy to his death, and I guess next time
it'll be somebody. You have options now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I
because you could be literally anybody.
Building a new character on stream, that would be fun. So
you're gonna do an on-stream character build then?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, at least come
take
to the
a look
table
and see what kind of things I want. But
yeah, my one request is come to the table with a couple ideas. But the only plot hook you really need to know, and you can tell me when and where, is that you come across a 10-year-old girl.
Right.
It could be any location, any setting, but that's the only like set plot hook for your new character. Is for the narrative to have any cohesion, you gotta find the girl. Unless you could tell me like a compelling reason not, because if you're like, no, I'm playing that jacked dwarf, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna clap your creativity. You really don't need the plot hook of the girl. I'm redacting that. We'll figure out who you want to play and what would be the most Oh lord, it'd be funny if you told me, can I build the Fiend Wraith? I'd let you do it, to be perfectly clear. That would be hilarious. Alright, but let's wrap up here.
I gotta go, so thanks again for listening, everyone. And thank you, Richard, for DMing a fun session in character.
If this session proved anything, it's that we don't script our episodes. Bye.
Bye.
Play around materials on itch.io. Woo!